Well, welcome back to Think About It, where you can daily, digitally come in and check in with me for a thought and an update, all from a biblical worldview and all in under 3 minutes. I'm standing here inside the entrance to our kids' ministry facility, and it's with that thought in mind that our timer starts right now. You see, early in life, we seem to be fascinated with numbers. When a toddler first learns how to count to 10, she's filled with excitement. The idea of a million is something that leaves young students speechless. And yet, as we develop even more of an understanding as to how this works, eventually we learn that there is no such thing as a highest number, and the concept of infinity starts to blow our minds. Yet it's about that same time that we start to grasp the meaning of numbers that the meaning seems to start fading away. Just consider these examples. $24 trillion of national debt, an estimated 125,000 abortions every day, 2 deaths happen every second. These are the realities of daily life that we've just started to accept as normal, and normally we just move on. But now with the reality of 1.8 million confirmed cases of the coronavirus and now over 100,000 deaths worldwide, we are now being forced to take a much needed pause and question, why have we been numb to numbers for so long? You see, in Luke 15, Jesus tells us 3 parables that capture the idea of both how man is lost, but how the Father is ready to save. And these lessons come in the context of the Pharisees and the scribes coming to complain to Jesus about how he eats and sits with sinners. And Jesus gives them these lessons, these stories to point to the nature of their heart. Jesus proceeds to describe a lost sheep being pursued by a loving shepherd, a lost coin being found by a diligent woman, and the last story is about a lost son who is now invited back home by a patient father. In the first 2 parables, Jesus finishes the story by comparing the joy of the shepherd and the joy of the lady to the joy of the heavenly Father over one sinner that repents. And in the third story, Jesus shows us that it's really the Father himself who is hosting the celebration. But Jesus shares these parables to the hypocrites of his day to challenge them with the striking reality. As they reject many, God still rejoices over the one. And the same is true today. We may have grown numb to numbers, stoic to statistics, but the Lord of the universe is not. Every death comes with grief in his heart, but every salvation comes with celebration that erupts in heaven. The parables of Luke 15 force us to see why God has undertaken not just a long but painful to himself plan to save us. It's because of man's misery, but also God's joy in finding us. And it seems to me that while all of us are ready to rejoice when this COVID-19 crisis is over, we don't have to wait until then to experience the true joy that goes beyond all comparison. The joy that happens when one sinner repents and is saved. And that's the joy that we should be most concerned about, the joy of the everlasting Father, especially in this time of crisis. Think about it.